My name is Darryl Grater from Discovery Insure, and it's really my privilege to have a conversation today with you just on the importance and the relevance of bodies such as the Insurance Institute of South Africa and why it's in an insurance professional's best interests to be a member. First and foremost, I am proud to work in the insurance sector. We serve society. What we do on a day-to-day basis is constructive to society and enables individuals and business through the protections and hedges that we offer against uncertainty, both current and future risk. And I say we broadly because whether you work as for an insurance company or a reinsurer or as a financial advisor or broker, we are all vital cogs in the wheel. And without us offering such financial protections, the very standard of living of people would change for the worse, not to mention public finances that inevitably become burdened. So firstly, be proud of the sector you work in. You should be. Secondly, the world has become far more complex, each day. I don't need to remind you of current factors that impact not just each and every one of us as individuals, but also how they impact our organizations, our business models, our purchasing habits, and our very standard of living. I'll run through a few of these, and I think I'll give you a sense of the context why just now. But if you just take global logistics pressures, with less ships and containers on the seas globally, the cost of imports and exports has shot up exponentially. We have seen, some container costs, the containers on ships. We've seen some container movement costs shoot from $2,500 to $13,000 when one compares to pre-COVID levels versus, the second half of 2021. The impact to all goods that we purchase as consumers and business has been massive. In the insurance sector, where motor part inflation specifically has hit insurers in a very big way, where motor part inflation is 4 times higher in 2021 versus 2020. Consider power surge costs, where the instability of the South African power grid and just electrical capacity issues are generating over 3 times the power surge claims this year versus the period of, say, 2016 to 2019. Consider the complexity of global weather changes. By example, the ENSO cycle is the warm and cool phases of the reoccurring climate pattern across the tropical Pacific. And the impact on the weather loss ratio in South Africa has been dramatic. To quantify, weather claims as a proportion of premium due to an ENSO cycle is up nearly 2%. When you consider under the El Nino weather pattern, associated claims were around, say, 4.4%. They're now it's over 6% as a proportion of premium. The increase of theft frequency on what we as insurers previously classified as low-risk vehicles are up nearly 6 times. Besides the increase in such claims frequency, the severity of these claims is up 40% in 2022 versus the average cost for period 2018 to 2021. I don't need to remind you about cyber exposures, which are exacerbated by low cybersecurity governance, specifically in South Africa. And then, just lastly, the impact of environmental, social, and governance matters, commonly referred to as ESG. These severe contributors include climate change. I've given you some examples. The erosion of social cohesion. Think back to the riots of July 2021. Infectious diseases. Pretty certain we all remember something there. The natural resource crises we're seeing globally. Geo-economic confrontation, just think about the war in Ukraine and how that's impacting you and I in a material way. These all form part of the ESG chassis and are increasing risk, driving claims costs, and will continue to do so in the future. All of these above points I've mentioned increase costs in the insurance sector. For the non-life insurer, margins are always lean. The insurance market is not a sector where insurers make 20 to 30% margins. Often in a good year, the combined ratio for many insurers sits around 95%. So we're working in a margin lean sector. So you can see how material a 1 or 2% increase in claims cost segments impacts the insurance market, its solvency, capital, and capacity. So how well prepared are you, the insurance professional? How well prepared are you for this? Do you have adequate insights into these trends and the impact on claims management, insurance pricing, insurance reserving, solvency requirements, how these impact underwriting models, the impact to CXs or customer journeys, and importantly, the impact and opportunities for the intermediary, where the value of advice is more relevant now than ever before? If you don't have insights into this, I challenge you as an insurance professional, you should. The IISA is such a body that provides such content on these insights. So if you aren't a member of the IISA, you, in my view, you stand at a disadvantage personally. And I'd argue your employer is also disadvantaged by your not being a member. A key benefit of being an IISA member is access to educational, professional, and skills development, where members can really just leverage the IISA's member-only professional and skills development resources to help you progress in your insurance career. excuse me. And you know, as an IISA member, you furthermore have the luxury of drawing on the IISA network experts from industry, you know, from the insurance market, from financial services, from academia, as well as the regulatory authorities for the latest industry best practices, career guidance, and where effectively you have access to insurance practice guidelines and content on best practices. This is further strengthened where you're able to access the latest news and development within the industry, which is posted on the IISA website, social media platforms, the newsletters, the PRs, etc. It would be remiss of me also to not point out that the insurance market is based on relationships. Networking is key. And as an IISA member, you are able to access the IISA's extensive program of events, which effectively puts you in the same room with influential individuals and thought leaders really within our incredible industry. So if you had to ask me why you should be an IISA member and why you should remain a member, I really hope these crisp points I've briefly highlighted share credence and just insights as to why, as an IISA member, you're effectively a more enabled, more empowered, and arguably a better equipped insurance professional. So that's really just a brief insights from my side. Ladies and gents, it's been a pleasure, and thank you.